So you're looking up how to climb this season, and you're just trying to figure out whatever the heck you can in order to help yourself climb. Well, today you picked the right video because I'm going to be talking about a very good variety of different topics of how you can help yourself improve, win more games, really miss a lot of your mistakes, and as well some of the best hero strategies this season and what to do with them. Overall, just some very general Season 6 stuff about how to rank up. Now with that said, if you want some more specific stuff, there are cards at the top right of the screen right now that can lead you to a playlist with stuff about, placements, exact meta comps, stuff like that. So click that if you want to find that. But anyways, today we're going to talk about this exact topic, and I guess if you want to see any more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button to learn a few more tips whenever anything really comes to my mind that I feel like is important. Anyways, to Season 6 and to some of the tips you can do. And as well, again, these are kind of all over the place, so you do have to kind of be ready and actually pay a bit of attention, as they are, again, kind of all over the place. Now, for the first thing that I'm going to tell you guys to do this season that's a bit different from previous seasons is that if you are a tank player, try playing multiple tanks this season. In the past, I feel like you could definitely get away with only playing one tank. In the past, you could get away with playing just Reinhardt, with playing just D.Va, with playing just Winston or whatever. But in this season, it feels a lot different. A lot of people are playing dive comp, and then a lot of people are playing counter dive comp. And a lot of the times, if you're not playing the correct tank for either of those things, it can really screw your team over. If you're already playing a tank, you're probably already trying to be a team player. You're probably already trying to make your team win a lot of games by having just a general strong team comp, so you should probably do this as well. Some good examples, though, about actually playing multiple tanks is to try maybe one of these combinations. I feel like Winston and Orisa can be a very strong combo, as you get a lot of dive for your team, and as well, if you want to play with the Junkrat spam strap, that can work too. Other than that, I feel like Rein D.Va also works out pretty well, or maybe even Rein Roadhog. The problem about Roadhog is that it's kind of awkward to dive with him, and you moreover need a Winston to go with you, or at least a D.Va. But I'd say Rein D.Va does work very well, because again, you can go D.Va Winston if you want to go for dive, or you can go Rein D.Va if you want to go for a slow push, or really whatever. You can fill out a lot of team comps with simply going Winston Orisa or Rein D.Va, so if you are a tank player, maybe try to learn 2 tanks this season, and those are probably some of the best tank combos to learn. Now, this next one, I don't really know exactly how to say or how to give you a tip with this, but it's just something that's really important to just kind of understand in the new season, how people are reacting. If you get put onto a King of the Hill map, try your very hardest on that first round. Your very hardest to win, your very hardest to get the maximum amount of communication, your very hardest to get a good team comp, maybe a good dive comp, and try to win that round or just win the first point. I'd say, you should always try your very hardest, but in this case in particular, you need to do it. Because often now, if you lose the first round of a King of the Hill match, your teammates are gonna troll, AFK, go some random stupid pick, or do whatever. A lot of the times right now, when you just lose the first round of King of the Hill, people just give up, and I don't know exactly why this is. Now it's a best of 3 instead of a best of 5, so I guess they feel a lot closer to a loss. But yeah, try your best. I know you should always be doing that, but honestly, this is where it matters the most, and this is where you can really rack up a lot of wins really quickly if you are just try-harding on the first round, because often, the other team will actually kind of give up on the second point. That's all I can really say about that. I wish I could give you more, but yeah, that's just a very important thing to keep in mind about Season 6. Now, something else about this season that's also very different from previous seasons is how short it is. And I think a good thing about how short it is that you can now pick 2 heroes quite easily, play them the entire season, and know generally how strong they're going to be for that entire season. So you can make an educated guess on some of the best heroes to play and who to play to climb with. So I'd say maybe go for that. Maybe this season, because the season's so short, just pick 2 heroes, preferably not in the same role, and only play them every single game. Of course, you could be like McCree and then Mercy, or Winston and someone else. It can be really whatever, but I feel like this season in particular is a good time to try out different heroes, try out different strategies that you want to go for because it's just so short, and as well because you know that the meta is going to be essentially the same for quite a while. So you know what heroes are going to be strong, you know what are going to be weak, and you know that you aren't going to be kind of toyed around during the last maybe extra month that we used to get in the Overwatch competitive. It's not really going to happen now. Overall, of course, playing a smaller hero pool is going to be great for you, and if you normally hate just playing a few heroes, maybe try this out just for this one season. See how it works for you, and if it doesn't work, then go back to what you were doing before, but if it does work, of course, continue. It's only going to be 2 seasons, or I guess I should say 2 months, so it shouldn't really be way too bad either way. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is that if you are playing DPS, again, completely different as all these things are, but if you are playing DPS, please don't push around corners if your tanks are behind you and if your tanks are coming to help you. I don't know why this happens. I don't know why this is happening so much this season. I feel like it always happened, but especially right now I'm seeing this happen a lot because I guess people are very used to dive comp, and seeing comps that aren't really dive comp, they're not really used to it. But if you know you have a Reinhardt behind you or a Orisa behind you, don't just run around corners, give yourself the chance to be picked and to just throw that match. Just don't do it. Instead, play safe, play behind your shield, get out your consistent damage, and go from there. Even if you're playing someone like Reaper, try to go around the corner with one of your tanks. So then you're a little bit more safe, and so that, again, you can't get one-shotted. I feel like this was always a problem, but yeah, in this season I've seen this happen a lot more, and it's something that you should really focus on and look at yourself with. Another thing that I also see that's probably from the dive meta that we kind of do quite a bit still is that you keep dying, I should say, you keep dying while you're going for picks. A lot of people just kind of are used to the fact that you would jump on the enemy backline with all of your tanks at the same time, all your DPS, all your supports, blop them, kill them, go on from there. Right now, though, a lot of the times we don't have as many dive tanks or as many dive supports or as many dive whatever, and a lot of the times I'm seeing a lot of people jumping on the backline, going for picks by themselves, and then being picked by themselves, which kind of sucks. You're putting your team at a huge disadvantage. Again, if you know that your team comp isn't great for this type of strategy, kind of look at it, see what they're going to do, talk to your teammates and ask. But if it doesn't really work out way too much, just group up with your team, wait, and push on point. Even with someone like Genji that you think, you always have to jump in the back line, you can still do pretty well by pushing on point, getting a lot of damage, being hard to kill, and then maybe at the end, jumping on the enemy supports during a team fight, instead of just, randomly out of the blue where the supports can catch you out, with maybe a sleep dart or with maybe something like a Zenyatta right click. Just something you want to keep in mind while switching from a totally dive meta into a little bit more diverse meta. And finally, something that you might want to remember about this new season is that since there's a lot more projectiles, especially with more Pharah and with more Junkrat, if you are at high ground, you should almost always be spamming corners. I guess if they have like a Zarya, you don't want to do it as much, but even in that case, it can still be okay. It'll get you more damage, it'll get you more ult charge, it'll get you more everything, put the enemy at a chance to die. It makes sense, but a lot of the times people just don't spam corners. They just don't really think they have to, but it will help you win a lot of games. It will help you get just a ton more damage out, and even if you're just shooting at the wall, doesn't really matter. Maybe you're lowering your your accuracy just a little bit, but getting out the chance to have damage, I feel like it's much more important actually trying to win than, of course, just getting good accuracy. Now, maybe the matchmaker doesn't think that nearly as much, but that's what I feel like it really should be as far as if you are playing a projectile character. Now, that's really mainly the general tip that I have for this new season. Quite a bit of change, but mainly it's just players not really being used to how the season is changing and how the meta is changing. So if you can try to help yourself with that, that'll supplement you well. That'll make so that you don't throw a lot of games this season and that, so that you can start ranking up pretty quickly. Now, as far as some other stuff, exact hero strategies that I feel like are good this season, what to do and when. First off, of course, we've all heard of the defensive Junkrat Orisa comp. Now, I feel like this is especially effective, everyone's picking it up in every situation, but I feel like it's especially effective when you're playing versus an enemy dive comp that's very sloppy. A lot of the times, of course, people just don't dive in way too well, they don't go in with their team way too well, or whatever, and they don't have their D.Va blocking all the damage. This is where this hyper-defensive Orisa Junkrat comp can work so well, because while maybe one character can get through, you can often just explode everybody else and get a ton of damage out. Get the Orisa right click into Junkrat Mine, into Bullet, and just pop them all. It's a really good way to counter a sloppy dive, and while it can be pretty good versus a slow push comp, I think especially versus that, it's a good idea to pick up. You probably don't want to be playing this way too much on offense though. Sometimes it does work, but if they have high ground on certain maps, I'd say it doesn't work nearly as well. Something else that I want to say is that during the season, when you do go Zen or Lucy or whatever, what you want to maybe do this season as you're supporting is actually try to focus on getting headshots as your support. I know a lot of people when they're playing support focus 100% on healing, and while I feel like that is very important, if you are playing a more damage oriented support, you're missing out on a lot of effective damage that you can get out on the enemy team, a lot of effective kills, and a lot of different ways that you can practice your aim that can help you actually protect yourself. I feel like a good example, of course, is when you look at Tracer. When you're playing Zenyatta versus Tracer, often, not always, but often against a medium level Tracer like Diamond or below, you can actually outplay them, out headshot them, and kill them. And if you actually practice getting these headshots, practice going for damage, and practice going for kills instead of just always healing and focusing 100% on that, you're going to be a lot more effective of a player. With that said, you should not ignore healing, you should not ignore your teammates, and you should still be trying to heal a decent amount, and, you know, make sure your orb is always on someone, and make sure you're always, you know, trying to get some heals out on Lucio. But do remember that you do damage, and you can get effective eliminations, so don't waste that damage that you could be getting. We see this with a lot of Koreans. They have a ton of damage output on their supports. The supports in these games have a huge amount of damage that they can get out, so just use it. Don't just keep wasting it, as a lot of people do. And finally, for this new season, as I've said in the past, duo queuing Pharah Mercy in any elo below Platinum or below Diamond, it can just net you a ton of wins. It's very hard to counter, especially with a lot of the hit scan not being super great right now, and of course with more Junkrat, more Orisa, it's going to get even better. As well, actually playing Pharah Mercy with the new Mercy rework on the PTR, it's even better because, the Mercy can pocket the Pharah super easily, it's very hard to kill, and overall, it's a huge pain in the butt to versus. So, yeah, if you want, I guess, an easy way to climb up, there you go. I wouldn't say do it if you want to get way too much better at the game. I guess you can get some good game sense, some good game knowledge. But if you just want to climb because you feel like you aren't in the rank that you deserve to be in, and you have a duo queue partner, this can be a way to do it. This can be a way to kind of jank up the system and to kind of go up. Of course, you want to lead your shots. You want to try to aim well as far and get a lot of damage and not do any stupid ults, all that type of stuff. But yeah, I feel like this is an effective strategy that can just net you a lot of wins without way too much effort. But anyways, that's at least my own opinion about Season 6, and very general rank up guide type of stuff. What you can do, what main mistakes are this season, and how you can change yourself to help yourself win some games, and I guess as well, some of the best hero combinations to win games. But as always, that is just my own opinion, so if you do have a different opinion, please leave it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, I guess, leave a like, comment down below, again, what your own opinions are. And as always, guys, subscribe if you want to see any more, and have a wonderful day.